YouTube, what is going on, guys? And today we are talking about Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. The review is finally here, guys. I'm sorry it's been waiting for so long, but today we're tackling it. So Xenoverse 2 basically takes off right after the events of Xenoverse 1. I don't want to spoil Xenoverse 1, and I'm not going to spoil Xenoverse 2 here either. So basically, you are a time patroller and going back in the Dragon Ball Xenoverse timeline to stop events that have happened or are happening as they are taking place. Basically, there will be new characters along the way to help you out, and here's where my biggest complaint comes in. There's never that much originality throughout the game. You basically will play through the entire Dragon Ball storyline, and the only thing they added from Xenoverse 1 here is that the movies take place. And that's it. Now what happens in those, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but they are in there. And it just is a shame because it just doesn't do anything original. There's no Super, no nothing. And I think Super is actually going to be put behind the $30 season pass, which is unfortunate because I feel like you needed to tackle a little bit of Super here, whether it was the first saga or something. I get maybe like the saga that they're doing now for the Super, for Black Goku or whatever the hell. I haven't been really keeping up with Super, so I'm not gonna sit here. I just like I like it, and then probably once I can watch Super in its entirety, I'll rewatch it, or watch it, I should say. And it just doesn't do anything original. The combat's very good, and it's proved upon Xenoverse 1. One other thing they proved upon is the difficulty spike, which is much, much thankful. Never did I ever feel like doing the side quest or anything else like were a chore. They were fun, and they did capitalize on a lot of cool things that you... And what's great about them is that each character will have special dialogue with different characters that you do in the parallel quests. The parallel quest will give you XP and all that stuff to level up, so that way you can get into the higher main missions unless you like Z rank them every single time. So with that, it's pretty good on that. The side quests don't ever feel like a chore, which is nice, and the difficulty spike has been improved, and that there is no difficulty spike. I always felt like, except for like maybe one or two missions, that I kind of felt like, well, that's hard, and I was level for the mission, too. That was what was weird. I never went into a mission that I was like, oh, I'm like a level. I'm going to just go ahead and go do some parallel quest and get the stuff I need. I always went in there, and there was just the one mission in the game. I'm not going to say what it is, but it just gave me a hard-ass time in, like, the mid-game. So, but overall, very good gameplay, and they improved upon it. Another thing that does suck is that you can't go anything past Super Saiyan 3. You can't go to, like, Super Saiyan God or Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan or anything like that in the game. Which, again, I think is going to be put behind a DLC paywall. And so then we get into the multiplayer. I've tried to get the multiplayer to work. I can play online battles fine, but to match up with a player is the most tedious fucking task I think there is in gaming, right up there with Dark Souls. I get Dark Souls, I get the summoning system. I wish there was just a simple invite system that would have been so much more effective. But I get Dark Souls, not Dragon Ball Z, that you have to go in there, you have to find the person in the fucking thing, invite him to your squad, he has to accept the squad. There can't just be, invite the squad. Was that so hard to put an infrastructure in for? I think not. And then it's just the multiplayer can work, but the servers at launch were pretty ass again, like they were in the original Xenoverse. I don't know what's so hard for them to get about servers. But I don't know. The game overall is pretty fun. I got to give them that, and the gameplay's what's more important. And the story still seems interesting, but it does get really cheesy at points. Basically, at the beginning, the story's good and it's interesting. And then as the game progresses, it gets slowly and more ridiculous. So, Dragon Ball Xenoverse improved it on the gameplay, and that was about it. Its story is not that original from Dragon Ball Xenoverse 1, except for bringing back old characters to interrupt the timeline. And I'm going to give you an example of what it is, basically. And this is kind of spoilerish. I did say I'm not going to do spoilers, but it's kind of not either. You'll find it out within, like, the first 2 missions of the game. So, basically what will happen is that there are these villains. I'm not going to spoil anything about them. There are these villains that will go back in time and grab villains from older or newer things and bring them back. Like Turtlus, who was put into the Saiyan Raditz saga, basically, and you have to fight off Raditz and Turtlus instead of just fight off Raditz. And it's very well done on that front, but I was like, oh, cool, this is cool. And then it just gets slowly and slowly worse as it goes on, and I don't like that. So, this game only improved upon the gameplay. Its soundtrack is annoying. The only thing that I can say about that was great about Xenoverse is that it had great combat, and the side quest didn't feel like a chore. But the story gets slowly and slowly worse. The multiplayer can sometimes barely work. The servers didn't work at launch. And that the story just gets worse and worse and worse. And the soundtrack, I don't even want to hear the fucking soundtrack anymore. It's how tedious things are. There can't be a simple invite system. And with all this being said, I give Dragon Ball Xenoverse a 6 out of 10. It's on a slightly above average game. And this is being me somewhat generous to the game. While its story wasn't completely bad, it just never thought I could approve. It could have been improved upon so much, but it gets worse and worse and worse. But the gameplay's fun, and that is what somewhat counts, but it just somehow can't hold up all these bad choices they made in the game. So, I would say, unless you're a big Dragon Ball fan, wait for the price to go down. Like, I'm seeing this game going for like $25 on Black Friday, and then go buy it. It's really fun especially if you're a Dragon Ball Z fan. If you're a Dragon Ball Z fan, wait for it to go down to about $40 or $50. Then, by all means, pick it up. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Like, favorite, share, subscribe, do all that YouTube stuff, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.